and you'll find some additional resources here, and you'll also find them here over here under support. So we'll go through those as we go through the menu items, and then how to join us for additional webinars that are coming up. We try to do these every 60 days, so every other month. Certainly, if you need one or want one for your team for some additional training, we're happy to do that. We also have recorded webinars that are available for your use. So when you log in, you're on this home screen right here, and you'll see pending groups here. For the recorders, it looks a lot like your screen. You know, what you've got when you've got pending groups that need to be processed. We sometimes say this is your to-do list. So we've got the home screen. This will always get you back to home. How to change your password if you want to. I'm not going to do that today, but if you wanted to do that, you would do that here. Keep in mind that it's 14 characters at a minimum, upper and lowercase letters, number, and then special characters as prescribed here. You can't use any invalid characters, only those, and a length of 14 to 50. It has to be a password you did not use previously. So as an example, a password that sometimes works very well all the time. A city, sometimes a state if you need it to get to the 14 characters, a zip code, and then special character. So we're located in Johnston. So Johnston 50131, that gets you to 13 characters, and then you would add a special character on the end. You could continue using that password by updating the special character if you wanted to. So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it does have to pass all of the rules. And passwords must be changed for everyone every 90 days. Additionally, as a submitter, if you have not logged in within 120 days, your username will be deactivated, and then you would need to ask us to reactivate your username for you. So I'm not going to change my password right now because I've changed it recently. One thing I do want you to see here though, Lisa, my name, my email, phone number, and then I have this selected, the attribute that says use the party name information from the first document for all subsequent documents in a group. This is something we added when this e-submission, which we call 2.0, was developed. It was something that came out of our focus groups that why were you having to enter the party name for every document within a group? So that was added, and it's a feature I like when I'm doing testing. It makes things go much quicker. So back to the beginning now, back to home. Next we have eSearch. This is how you would search for documents that you as a submitter have submitted or within your firm. You would be able to find them there. You're not going to be able to find electronically recorded documents for everyone. It's only for your firm. After we go through the demo today, we will come back to that and work through the search process. ILR search, this is the old Iowa land records, the old portal that where you would do searching for land records. We can try to do some of that later. If it doesn't work in staging, I'll flip over to the production site and we'd be able to do some there if you have questions on how to search. Admin, let's talk about that. Let's talk about users first. So there's different roles within an account. First is the submitter admin. So they submit documents. They may also be enabled to use the ILR search. They can submit documents. They can add users. They can delete users. They can update user passwords, and they can also generate reports for reconciliation, and they can update submitter information. I would say they have the most power. The next one is the submitter. Those people can also have search enabled for the Iowa Land Records website, and they can submit documents. Going back to the admin, those people can also edit the groups of any other user within the account. So as an example, someone is on vacation or out of the office for any reason, they'd be able to take a look at something that was maybe declined or fee changed and make some changes and get those documents resubmitted to the recorders for review. The next one would be somebody in the accounting role. They cannot submit documents for recording. What they can do is update payment information and generate reports for reconciliation. We also have one more class of user, and those are search only. So they would only be able to search Iowa land records, and they would not have access to submit documents for recording. However, it's very simple to update someone's role. So whatever they have, we've got this person right here that's in pending status. So actually, this is Phil, our project manager. So at any time, he could be updated to any of these roles, and you can enable or disable the search. We're not going to change anything there, but I want you to know that it's out there. If you're an admin and you add more users to your account, so it looks a lot like this. Username, whatever works best for your organization, first name, last name, first initial, last name, however you want it to be. And then you choose the roles. Are they an admin? Are they a user? Accounting, search? You would always need to enable search if you want them to have access to search. Fill in all of this information. I strongly encourage selecting yes here, and then provide a temporary password, and then their status will be pending. And to update to active, they would need to log in and update the password. There's not an email telling them that the username has been created. So if you're the admin and you create a username and password for a new user within your organization, have them log in and update the password. There's nothing that's going to come to them automatically. So going back to home here real quick. Under admin, submitter information. This is basic information about your organization. The name of it, how you're submitting. This account information is an internal number for us. It has nothing to do with your bank. Your bank is your organization business type is a bank, what your address is, what your phone number is, and who the best contact is. Once you select edit, the fields that you can edit open up. You would never be able to change your organization name or your type, but you can certainly change other things. Next is submitter payment information. This is where you would update your payment. So maybe you get a new credit card, you change banks, your credit card was hacked. We had that happen this morning with a submitter. You're going to log in as an admin, go to submitter payment information, and then edit. So you'll see that some of the information is the same, the organization name and the internal account number. And then you just fill in all the information. If you ever want to switch your payment type, easy to do. Notice that none of the information for the account is displayed here. That's for security purposes. So if I were to update this today with new information and select save, the information does not display but is saved in the background. So don't be alarmed if it's not there. We talked about users, so that's all there. And the reports that you can generate, a settlement report. This is really a great report that shows you all the charges for each month. This is for the current month. It looks like we haven't done anything. Let's do current quarter. So there's all the documents that have been recorded. Remember, this is our staging environment, so yours might look a lot different, but the county that it was recorded in, the charge amount, the group name, submission number, the day it happened, the recording date. Not sure why this one is so far off. The reference number. Here's the book and page. So you've got that information, the recording information, the document type, and who submitted it. So that information is all there. And you can export that to any of these formats if you wanted to use that for reconciliation purposes. And I think that covers just about everything under admin. Update account is much like change password, looks exactly the same. Under support, we've got resources. This takes us actually to our production site. So you can see additional materials, DOV information, some PDF guides we have on eSubmission 2.0, a webinar that we recorded, how to format documents, updating passwords, all kinds of information there. And then some frequently asked questions are there. Also under resources, customer support, how to connect with our team. We answer pretty quickly. We pride ourselves in providing great answers in a short amount of time. So we're always happy to help you. If you call us and we don't answer, leave us a message. We'll be happy to call you back. And finally, a transfer tax calculator if you're unsure how much the amount of the tax will be. So 7.5 million, it's almost $12,000. So on to the eSubmission demo. So we're back to the home screen. You're logged in, you've got your documents that you are ready to record. You're going to make sure that they're scanned in black and white, portrait orientation, 300 DPI. There's a lot of discussion about what works best. I believe black and white is the best, but if you have a color signature on a document, that should record fine. That's some updates that we made to the system not that long ago. But black and white, portrait orientation, 300 DPI. The exception is a survey document can be submitted in landscape orientation. Just make sure it's in the right orientation so that when the recorders review it, the place for the stamp is in one of the upper corners. So there's plenty of room there next to the index legend. So to kick off the submission process, you'll select new submission and then the county that you're going to submit to, and then you're going to name the group. So imagine you've got this group of documents that you wanted to submit for recording or you wanted to get to the recorder. So previously you mailed those or drove to the courthouse. Now you're doing it a little bit differently. So if you were mailing them, you would create an envelope to put them in. That's what the group is. A group can be one document or it can be multiple documents. We suggest not more than 10 documents in a group, with an exception if they're all related and they all need to be recorded in a specific order, then submit them all together, okay? You don't want things recorded out of order because that's really hard to correct sometime. So we're naming today's group webinar. And now we've got this empty group. So like your empty envelope or folder, and then you start selecting the document types and you start adding additional information. So in this group, we're going to have a deed. Notice that the number of auditor transfers defaults to 1. You can change that to any number that you like. Remember, there's a maximum fee of $50 that is allowed. So no matter what number you put in there, the most you will be charged is $50, and that's a limitation in place by the law. You have to enter a real estate value here. If it's something that really doesn't have a value, you would enter $1. Otherwise, if you've got a declaration of value with the value on it, that's the amount you want to enter here. So we're going to go for $750,000 and then browse for the image. So you've saved it in black and white, portrait orientation, and attach. As soon as I select save, there's going to be a modal that pops up here for party names. You're going to see the fees populate over here, and the standard fee is going to be based on the number of pages in the document that I selected. And there's going to be a $5 transfer fee, and the total of that fee is going to display right here under total group fees. Okay, so I'm going to save it. And so the system is now looking for the name. You've got the total of this document right here and the group total up here. And so, and save. And now the system is telling me, okay, this is a deed, a conveyance document. I need to attach both the declaration and the groundwater hazard form with this document. I can also submit a message here to the recorder. I encourage people, if you have something that you want to make sure the recorder is aware of, call them, pick up the phone, call them and say, hey, this is Betty. I'm calling from this law firm and I submitted this group and I need you to be aware of this. Okay. So adding the next document, the declaration of value, and these are in alphabetical order, and browsing for the document. Remember, DOVs and groundwaters do not have any fees. So you're not going to see anything change here, and you're not going to see anything populate there. And the name is not popping up, the requirement to enter it, because I've checked that attribute, so I don't have to do that. I can certainly change this if I wanted to. If I wanted to add a middle initial or something like that, I can do that here. Okay. Or if I wanted to change it totally, I can do that. I can do that as well. So, okay. If I delete it, if I choose to delete this party name and start over, which I certainly can, it's going to tell me that I need to add one. So one name is required, but only one name is required. Remember, the recorders will index any of the information that is on the document. So all the party names should be indexed. Adding one more document here, and that's the groundwater. And again, there's no fees associated with recording of a groundwater. And we're grabbing a test image here and saving. Okay, so nothing there, nothing additional. And now one more document. I'm going to add document. I'm going to add a power of attorney. For the team members that are participating, this is pretty much the group that I do every single time, because I like to share this feature. So now you've got this group of 4 documents. Your fees for this document are $10. There's one page, and the $3 e-submission fee. So, and then you see that the total group fees has increased to include this amount. So now you've got these 4 documents right here, but you want the power of attorney to be recorded first. So all you have to do is left click on the submission number and then drag it to where you want it. And for recorders, when you're rearranging documents, that process is exactly the same. Left click and put it where you want it. And there you've got it. So up here in the to-do list now, we've got groups that are declined and fee change and in progress. You know, this is the group you're working on because there's a lock on it. And if someone else in your office clicked on that to review it, they're going to receive a message that says, hey, Lisa is working on this, and you have to acknowledge this so you don't have 2 people working on it at the same time. If everything looks good, you're ready to submit. You can change the county here if you want to. So we can submit that one to Adams County. We can say, you know what, I don't want that. If I don't want that power of attorney recorded, I could delete that here. I could delete the entire group right here. Bear in mind that if you choose to delete something, it takes a couple seconds for it to catch up. So don't think, okay, this isn't working. Click it and then kind of hold. And if I were to delete this, it asks me if I want to make sure, because it cannot be undone. So I'm going to cancel that. Okay. And then I'm going to do submit group. Submit group's always the last step. In progress indicates it has not been submitted. Anything on the home screen is your to-do list as a submitter, just like it is for the recorders. So last step is submit group. And there's the message right here that it was submitted successfully. As a submitter, you do not receive email notification that it was recorded, that it was submitted. You will receive an email when it's recorded, if there's a fee change or if it's declined, okay? But you're not going to get one. And then what you could do is do e-search to find it if you wanted to know what the status was. And after we go through some additional demos here, we'll take a look at that. Does anybody have any questions or anything you want me to specifically demo? Recorders, I know you have questions. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to submit a new group, and I'm going to do a quitclaim deed. Or so I'm going to submit a quitclaim. And this document is a conveyance document. The system is always looking for those declaration of value and groundwater. Some people call those helper documents. So I'm going to show you how to get around those requirements. So you've got your quitclaim here. You've got the number of auditor fees. It automatically defaults to 1. Again, you can change it to whatever you want. You must enter a value. So if there's no real estate, no funds being exchanged, enter $1. And then you're going to select the DOV and the groundwater exemption right here. Otherwise, I'm going to unclick those. I'm going to find the image. And I'm going to make it. So it's telling me it requires a declaration of value on a groundwater. So what I'm going to do is right here is edit and then select those exemptions and save. And now I would be allowed to submit that group. Does that make sense to everyone? Always select that. Here's another one. You have a deed that is in fulfillment of a contract. So the groundwater and the declaration of value were submitted and recorded at the time that the contract was entered or was recorded, but now you need to pay the tax and transfer it. So you've got a real estate value of $100,000 and you're selecting these exemptions and you're browsing for the image and then save. And you're going to see all those fees calculate over here. And the party name does not have to be entered, but it can certainly be edited if you wanted it to be. There you go. And then one more. You may remember that within the last couple of years, the groundwater hazard requirements changed, that if there were no positive conditions on a groundwater, those do not have to be submitted. So you've got a deed. So you've got that, but you're not going to submit the groundwater, but you are going to submit the DOV. So you're selecting that exemption right here so you don't get that warning. Okay. And then save. And then it's still saying that it requires the DOV. So we're going to go ahead and add that right here. And you're always seeing those fee totals right here. So when you're ready to submit, okay, something failed, probably because of a bad image that I submitted. But you got everything here. You remember you can rearrange, you can delete one if you want to. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this one so you can see the process. You can still change the county if you want to, but it's a fairly easy process. So I'm going to do submit group. Got this message up here that says that it failed. Okay. And check the PDF. And when I click on this, it's going to tell me which one is wrong, but it looks like they're all wrong. Not sure what's going on there. Let's find a new one. And let's try that one more time. If you as a submitter were working through that and you had all of those that warning pop up, you're going to look for the red image there, and I'm probably going to recommend that you rescan. Okay. Okay. Anybody want to see anything else submitted? Okay. Got a couple more that I would like to go through real quickly. So we've got a new submission, Adair County. So as I've been submitting documents, you may have seen this field for the number of additional transactions. Each document assumes one transaction. The only time you would use additional transactions if there's more than one transaction on a document. As an example, you might be assigning multiple documents or multiple leases, multiple mortgages, something like that on one document. So for anything over one, you would add an additional transaction. What additional transactions is not is the additional number of documents within a group. Okay, so every document assumes one transaction, and you're not going to use additional transactions unless there's more than one transaction on a document. In general, I think it's best to avoid it and let the recorder review it and send it back to you, okay? Because sometimes those slip through, you would be charged an additional $7 for each one that is here, and it's hard to get those funds refunded, okay? So I'm going to add 2 to this document so you can see what it looks like. So you'll see additional transactions fees of $14 right here when I select save. Okay. So there you've got $7 for one page document and $14 for additional. If you see that and you need to get rid of that, select edit, come in here, change that back to 0, and the fees will automatically update. Okay. Couple more. Affidavit of non-transfer. I talk about this in every webinar, the difference between an affidavit of transfer and an affidavit of non-transfer. An affidavit of non-transfer is a statement of fact that you as a homeowners association certify that the resident who's selling their home is current on their dues at the time of the transfer of the home. That you are a purchaser of something, so a purchaser's affidavit or a trustee's affidavit. You as a trustee of a trust are authorized to do this. You're not conveying property, and you'll see that there's no transfer fee here, okay? And then the second one is the affidavit of transfer. It conveys property. It's got an auditor transfer fee. Again, anything up to 10, often seen in affidavit of surviving spouse. Okay. And so you'll see that there is a transfer fee of $5. So if you ever have a question, give us a call. We're happy to walk through that. Just ask yourself the question, is it conveying property? You want to get the fees to be correct. You want the auditor's books to be correct. So it's important to submit it correctly. And then the last step is submit group. That one is still failing and I'm not sure why. Okay, questions, anyone? And let's keep going. Let's do this one first. So you submitted a document to the county, and this one is again Adair County. It's the county we use for most of our testing. And the recorder reviewed the documents and said there's some fee changes here. You selected the wrong amount of fees. Something wasn't calculated correctly when it was submitted. You would have received a notification of that in your email. And on this group, the one that I have locked here, there's 3 documents. All of them are in fee change status. So you would have received 3 emails, okay? And you have this warning here that the fee amount has been changed. To complete the recording process, select the fee change for each submission, or you can select the submission number to review the history and submission form. So let's do the easy one first. You received the email. You agree with the change that was made by the recorder, and all you have to do is select accept fee change, okay? The status automatically updates to resubmission. this group is still locked. It's still in fee change status, and you're not going to be able to submit it until you do something with these two. Okay. So for this one, let's click on the submission number like the message says. And if you scroll down here, you'll see the message that says the fees changed from 10 to 15. Sounds like this one was submitted as an affidavit of non-transfer. The recorder updated it to transfer, and so the number of auditor fees was there. Okay. So after reviewing that, if you agree, select accept. Again, that one goes into resubmission. At this point, you could delete this one if you were not interested in why it was changed, or you had to verify something. But we're going to click here, take a look, and that it went from 20 to 15. So this is the reverse of the one before. It went down by $5. It was changed from an affidavit of non-transfer. And this actually could be updated to affidavit of non-transfer to make those fees correct. And now it's in resubmission. And once again, last step, submit group. Okay. We've got some groups here that are in decline status, so let's walk through that. So you submit documents for recording, the recorder reviews, the recorder approves and declines. So a couple things to keep in mind. First, these documents that are displayed were submitted as a group, so they stay as a group. So this one, this groundwater is approved. It's not recorded. If it was recorded, this one would say county indexed, but they're all going to reach that status of county indexed or county index paid at the same time. So this one was approved while the others were declined. You would have received 3 emails telling you why they were declined, and you would make those changes. And so your process is to log in, find the group here under group name in the pending groups, come down here, take a look at this one. So you've got the submission number, clicking on it, scrolling to the bottom. It looks like the legal description and the notary are off. So you're going to make those corrections. Trust me, the recorder's comments are going to be much better than mine from yesterday. Okay. So what you're going to do is make those corrections, rescan it, come in here, select edit, and then down here where it says replace document image, and you're going to find a new image, save it, and save it. Okay. And it does not like that one. Let's find a different one. And so that all updates. If the page numbers change, it will absolutely update your fees here and right up here. So this one's in approved, this one's in resubmission, these two are in declined. Pending group or submit group is not active yet because you have to deal with these. So click the submission number, determine what was wrong. Oh, it was the wrong county. Okay, so remember these were quick comments yesterday afternoon. We're going to go ahead and submit it here anyway. So in this one, because you don't need a new image, all you have to do is select edit and then save. And it goes into resubmission. And then on the declaration of value, click on the submission number, also wrong county. So maybe I should have changed this. I'll do a change county here. I'll change it to Adams. And then everything goes into resubmission, so you don't have to go through the edit process on each one. Okay, last step, always submit group, and that one disappears. You guys are very quiet. Where's all your questions? Here's another one that was declined. And so we've got 2 that are declined, 1 that was approved. Remember, this one is only approved. It's not recorded. Okay, so click the submission number. They'd asked you to rescan it in black and white. You're going to do edit, find the new image, and save it. And now that's in resubmission. And then one more time for the affidavit of non-transfer. It was missing a notary. So you're going to rescan that, get it, make the correction, get it rescanned. So that one's now everything's good to go. and you would be able to submit this group. This one is problematic. I don't know what's going on there.
Hey, Lisa, I don't think that group is your fault. I recall that our
Okay,
staging environment's coming offline for some updates later this morning.
okay, thank you.
Uh,
Okay, anyone, questions about the submission process? What can I demo for you? What questions can I answer? Okay, I'm going to go on to eSearch then. So you've submitted documents for recording. You want to know the status, or you received a notice that it was recorded. So you're going to go to eSearch right here. Let's do what was submitted first, okay? And I think we'll do search by county. And we submitted today to Adams and Adair. So I'm selecting both of those. Today's the submission date. And then search. So there's all of the documents that were submitted today. You can see these are in ready for stamp preview. That's part of the submission process of them getting ready to go to the next status, which would be ready for recorder, which is at the point that the recorder would be notified that there are documents out there ready for their review. So we've got all of those. We've got in progress here. Those are the ones that are giving those red messages here. I'm going to do I was hoping to find some documents and ready for recorder status. Okay. We haven't been doing a lot of testing in Adair and Adams lately, apparently. So we do have one document here that's in paid status, this one. But the documents do go through a series of statuses as they're being recorded. So it would be ready for recorder, then recorder approved, then ready for download, downloaded, stamped, and then finally paid. And when it gets to a paid status, that's where you as the submitter would be notified that it has been recorded, and you'd be able to reach out there and grab that. And the way you're reaching out and grabbing it is you're going to go to eSearch, and then recently recorded, and then search. And this will display the most recent 500 documents that have been recorded. You can certainly export these if you like. Please notice that this is a little bit different from the settlement or charges report, because it does not include the recording information, and it doesn't include charges, but you can see everything that was submitted. It also doesn't have the submitter's name. So it's everything for your organization, but it doesn't have any of the users within your organization that have submitted those documents. You would need to use the settlement report for that. So you can sort this by county, by group name. If you wanted to see, as an example, all of the UCCs that had been submitted with that are included in this last 500, you can do that. Anything that has deed in it, you can sort there. Not sure why the groundwater came up with that. We're going to take a look at that. Corey, would you make a note of that?
yes, got it.
Thank you.
And hey, Ashton had requested that you maybe slow your scrolling down a little bit so they can more easily follow what you're doing on screen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so these are all the documents, and if as a submitter you wanted to download the image for your system, you're going to click right here on submission number, and then review document. And remember, this is a test document, so I'm not sure who Joe is, but there you go. Okay. Okay, everybody, what else do you want to see? What questions do you have? If you want to talk, let us know, and we will enable your audio. Anyone? Okay, last call. Thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm glad I sent this out to the recorders and some of you were able to join. I always enjoy talking with you and seeing you, and I'll see some of you next week as Census and I, our policy coordinator, are traveling to a district meeting. So we'll be looking forward to that. At any rate, take care. You know where we are and how to connect with us if you have questions. Certainly email us or call us directly, and we'd be happy to help you. Oh, yep. Okay. What does a recorder receive back once we record a document? They receive a notification that says your document has been recorded. And I believe it includes the group name, so they can log in and go to recently recorded and get that document for their records. So much, Amy, much like the information you would receive that says you have a document that's ready for review, the notifications look very much the same going to a submitter as far as recently recorded, fee change, or a decline. And those emails for a fee change and decline include the contact information for the recorder or the member of your team that did that. So it would say, you know, your name, recorder, your email, your phone number. And if Kim in your office did it, it would have her information. They do not receive a stamped document back, like attached to the email. They would need to log in and get it. And you are unmuted if you want to talk. Anyone else with questions? Does it help as a recorder to see this side of it? Jennifer, you received an email indicating that fees may be changing to $10 a page. Do I know when this will happen? I know that this is a legislative proposal. You may or may not be aware. I don't know the email that you received. So a little bit of background is that Iowa's recording fees have not changed since 1984 or 85, so about 40 years. And that is a legislative proposal. The legislature begins meeting in January, at which time that proposal will be presented, and it would become a study bill, and it would go through the channels. And then the governor would need to sign it into law, and it could go into effect as soon as July 1st of 2025. However, it certainly could be delayed. We will 100% over communicate that to you, okay, so that you know when it could happen and how it will happen and how the fees will be calculated. Okay, is that helpful, Jennifer? Yeah, we will over communicate, don't worry. And through Iowa Land Records newsletters, and the recorders are huge communicators as well. I would anticipate some news releases that would maybe be in your local paper so you could see it there as well. A question about a service fee for surveys and plats. Okay, e-submission fees are $3 per document in addition to the recording fees. And that's for all documents except for a declaration of value and a groundwater, where there are no recording fees, so there's also no service fees. Where the service fee will differ is if you are using a credit card for payment. And that is because there's an additional processing fee that is attached for the merchant, for the credit card processing fee. I believe it's 13 cents on a one-page document. So it would, if you had a one-page survey recorded, it would be $10.13, and $3.13 would be the service fee. That's all included in the stamp, so you can see that. If you want to switch to a bank account, we'd be happy to help you make that change. It's very easy. If you're the admin, you can certainly do that easily enough by going up here to admin and payment information, edit, and then you would make the change here. Okay, so you would change it from a credit or a debit card to EFT batch. So if you're using a credit card for payment and you recorded 10 documents within a day, you would see 10 charges on your credit card. If you're using a bank account for payment and you record those same 10 documents, you would see one charge on your bank account for the total of those charges, because it is a batch. So they're all batched up at the end of the day. Okay. The service fee is $0.01865. So take all those charges on a document. So let's say you have a deed. With the transfer tax, you've got a 2-page deed, the $5 auditor fee, and then you have $7,500 in transfer tax. Those fees on that on that, with the merchant processing fees, those can add up. So if you want to switch to a bank account for that one large transaction, you can certainly do that. Also, as far as the users and the number of accounts, there's no limit. So if your office has an account, and we absolutely encourage everyone to have their own username and password so that they can log in, not worrying about getting the admin token from somebody within the office. So we would encourage that. And we have banks that have multiple locations. So each bank location has their own account because the money's coming out of their own bank account, right? We have law firms that probably have 20 accounts because each attorney has their own credit card that they use for payment. There's no additional charge for additional users, and there's no charge for multiple accounts. And in general, there's no charge for having an e-submission account. All the fees are associated with recording and the $3 e-submission fee. And I really hope all of that made sense. So unlimited accounts, unlimited users. If you're uncertain about how you want that to look, if you want to talk through it, we'd be happy to do that with you. Corey and I both have been here quite a bit. We can walk you through, okay, this might be the greatest scenario for you. Another example is City of West Des Moines. Everyone there has their own, what they call a P card. So those charges all go on their own card, and each user has their own account that they use for e-submission. There is only room for one payment type within an account. So that might be a reason to have multiple accounts, and we can help you determine a username so you know that you're doing it correctly when you're logging in. Okay, Jennifer, did that all make sense? Okay. Okay, perfect. If you ever have questions about how much it will be, let us know. We can walk you through it. And now you know how it's calculated when you attach the image, so you can take a look at that before you submit and determine if this is the best option for you. Okay. So we'd be happy to help you walk through that. You can always start submitting things and get them into that pending groups where they're just kind of sitting there waiting until the closing goes through. You receive the money, whatever works best for you. Kristen has shared some information how to sign up for our newsletter so that we will absolutely continue to communicate about the legislation process and progress. But that will not even start until January, which I know is about a hot 20 minutes away. So Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll put our phone number down here and our support email. Shoot us a message, give us a call. We'd be happy to help you. And have a really good day. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day. We really do appreciate it. And I hope the rest of your day goes really, really well. Thanks so much. Take care.